Okay, good morning. This morning our devotional thought continues to come from Romans chapter 10. And if you recall, in our last class we talked about how salvation comes from faith, that if we confess with our mouths that Jesus is Lord and believe in our hearts that God raised him from the dead, we will be saved. That anyone who trusts in him will never be put to shame. And he picks up in Romans 10:14 by saying then this: how then can they call on the one they have not believed in? How can they believe in the one whom they've not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can they preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. But not all the Israelites accepted the good news, for Isaiah says, Lord, who has believed our message? Consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word of Christ. So, I find it super important and interesting that Paul encourages us to preach the word. Remember, even from our first devotional thought, even from chapter 1 in Romans, Paul calls out and he says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus, for it is the power of salvation to all those who believe. So if you don't mind, indulge me this morning on the scripture says to sing songs and hymns to one another to encourage them. And I don't claim to have an incredible voice, but I think the song hopefully will be a challenge and an encouragement to all of you. I will not hesitate to proclaim the will of God. I will not hesitate, no, I will not hesitate to proclaim the will of God. How will they hear without me? How will they know unless I tell them? How will they hear without me? How will they know unless I tell them? How can I face Jesus unless I go and tell them of his love? I hope you will share the good news with all those you know, and all those whether it be family, friends, neighbors, let them know of the love of Christ. Have a great day.